Another one of my favorites is Last Hurrah for Chivalry, directed by none other than John Woo. Yes, that John Woo, the one who does the heroic bloodshed action movies with the guns and everything, like Hard Boiled and The Killer. Before John Woo did those types of movies, he did martial arts movies. He directed Hand of Death with Jackie Chan, and this is one of his first movies. It's about this rich man named Cao. His father is killed by a rival. And he wants to seek revenge on this rival, but he's not good enough. So he's trying to hire some swordsmen to take on his rival for him, but it's not as simple as just paying someone, because most people that are really good in this movie don't just do anything for money. So Cao decides to manipulate the events of the plot in order to make these two pawns of his fight for him. There's Chang the Magic Blade. He doesn't do much. I think he's given up on the martial world, and he washes horses for a living. He just tries to make a living for his mother and his sister. And then there's also the drunkard swordsman who's in love with a prostitute. These two, they become really good friends, and it becomes kind of like a buddy cop movie. And that's something that I've noticed in a lot of John Woo movies, the emotional connections between characters. The Killer has this, and so with the Killer and the detective. Same goes for Hard Boiled with Chow Yun-fat's character and Tony Leung, and so this film is no different. Something else I noticed is that in a lot of John Woo movies, the villains are really stylish, and like the Johnny and Mad Dog and Hard Boiled, and this movie is no different. There's this swordsman in white named Prey who wants to take on Chang the Magic Blade. He's really badass. They have a really cool fight scene. And there's also Pei. He's like this jacked villain, and he's got like this whole mansion full of like bodyguards. And the only problem with this movie, I feel, is the pacing. When I first watched it, I didn't like the movie because the first hour is all setup. It's all character development. There's only like one action sequence. It takes its time to develop the characters and the plot, really. And then the last 45 minutes is just pure action. It's like a whirlwind of blades and fists, and basically Chang and the drunkard swordsman, they go in there and they have to take on like hordes of ninjas and the infamous sleeping wizard. He's like a guy who always seems like he's asleep, but he like stumbles around, and like it's really funny. And another thing that's really cool is the fight scene with the two grapplers. These two close quarter combat grapplers attack our heroes in a giant cage, and the cinematography changes and becomes a lot more closer, and it makes like a claustrophobic feeling. And that's something that I thought was really cool, because usually cinematography in martial arts movies is just like long distance shots or whatever. They don't really care, but I thought that was really cool. So all of these reasons make for a pretty good movie. It's like a buddy cop martial arts movie. It's one of John Woo's most underrated films. I definitely recommend Last Hurrah for Chivalry.